Well, hello everyone, and welcome. Alright, now what we got going on in the world of dark side today? You may be saying, Tevin, why is this the first video you got here? Well, I was looking through his Shadow War videos. Well, I didn't even do that. I played one video to test the audio, because I got this is my first time recording and not streaming with this setup. I got two PCs now, technically. It's a computer that exists. And this beginning is just so memed here. Also, it's something else I want to talk about too. It's good. Give me like a second. I wish I had a video clip to play for it, but I don't. Comments disabled, of course, for all of his gaming videos now. This is the beginning of a playthrough video on YouTube.
All right, so shout out to...
Oh God, that echo. I am sorry for that. That was horrible. Jeez Louise. I thought like aliens was attacking.
Alright, so shout out to X-Voragamifrog, who just chewed 10 bits. Holy crap, what a name. That is a complex name.
Look at the silence.
Alright, here's the next part. These guys are weaker.
So the first 20 seconds of a Let's Play video, 12 of it is a shout out that he gave for 10 cents. And the next few seconds is nothing.
On level 19, there's an 11 and a 13.
And then he states the obvious. Great Let's Play videos you can find on twitch.tv/DarkSidPhil. He also still has his Teespring. Let me cut this OBS preview off because it distracts me a lot. He also got his Teespring still here because duh. And Loot Crate is here. Remember when Loot Crate cut him off legit like 6 months ago because he wasn't making him enough money, and they told him they would probably come back to him at the end of the year. Well, end of the year is here. I can't talk today. End of the year is here, and that did not happen. I think Lootboxe just done with him, so he basically just got a generic affiliate link now. And even when you go there, you still gotta type in the thing. It's Loot Crate is stupid the way it works. And remember when he did Lootboxe? Anybody remember Lootboxe? Now he recently streamed. I think this might have been yesterday. He did a stream and he showed off his T-shirt in the beginning because what he's interest in gaming shirts. You know, when I'm 35, I want to be wearing gaming shirts as I sit on the couch and play games for 400 people. Well, I guess 400 people is a lot of people. Lootboxe. Let's see. Yeah, his last Lootboxe opening was 2 months ago. And he said in the video, I wish I had a clip for this. It was like, this might have been in the beginning of the actual playthrough, or after the pre-stream or some shit. He was like, oh, I opened up a Lootboxe, but I didn't have time to record the unboxing. So you literally opened the box, but you had no time to record opening the box, even though his last unboxing was 7 minutes long. He didn't have 7 minutes. So basically, Lootboxe still sending him loot boxes. He's not recording the videos for him, and he just opening them. And of course, these people don't do contracts. You know, you're supposed to kind of do it out of, you know, because it's so easy to do. And it's not like he signed a deal with fucking Gucci or some shit and he getting $1 million from him. So, good job, Dave. You finessed an up-and-coming garbage box company. That's nice. And let me see. But the newest DSP meme right now. And this has happened before. I tried to look up the video of it. I couldn't find it. This might have been a video I caught like 2 years ago. But in 2014, and he did it again in 2015 with a different game. In 2014, Murder Soul Suspect was getting really rough reviews, like it was getting 6s and 7s from everybody. And DSP, I'm gonna actually look up a video and see if I can find it. Let me see. I probably won't be able to find it. But Murder Soul Suspect was getting like 6s and 7s and shit. And people wasn't watching him play it because the game was getting bad reviews. And he got really fucking salty potatoes about that. Let's see if I can find this shit. He probably talked about it in his review. I had a DSP moment, okay? Yeah. It's probably impossible to find it. Cause when I did my video on him talking about it, complaining, it probably was a real pre-stream that was on YouTube, and that shit probably ain't on YouTube no more. Yeah, even if it is still on YouTube, you know, it's YouTube. Who fucking knows where it is in the listings here? But he defended the fuck out of Murder Soul Suspect, and he was really mad, calling people sheep, saying that people should not watch him because the game got bad reviews. They should make their own opinion and all of that garbage. He did it again a year later with another game. I don't remember the game because it was in 2015, and he doing it this year with Shadow of War. Now, the meme with Shadow of War, he even on his pre-stream October 11th, why you shouldn't always believe gaming drama. Now, let's think about what he's saying we shouldn't believe. He's saying we shouldn't believe that loot boxes are bad. And he's saying we shouldn't believe that you need to buy loot boxes to beat the game. Because a lot of people saying you need loot boxes to beat the game. Now, I got to give you some Angry Joe logic from a couple of years ago. I think this might have been 2016, 2015, maybe even 2014. Angry Joe did an app review for an app game, like an app game, oh my God, an iPod game, iPhone game, whatever. And he said that the ending had, was it that? I think it might have been a phone game. It was either the ending or progress. I think he said progress, though, that the progress had a paywall. And the way he explained it having a paywall was that they made it so obnoxious and they made it take so much time and so much grinding gameplay to progress, you would rather spend money to progress. So he called it a paywall. Shadow of War has a paywall going by that Angry Joe logic. And I know a lot of people don't like Angry Joe. I really don't fucking care. A lot of people don't like a lot of people. It's the internet. But that's going by that logic. This game has a paywall. You get to a certain point in the game. If you want to see a certain ending, you got to play the fuck out of it and get this really, really good, really big orc army. Or you can spend money and buy loot boxes and you get orcs in a loot box, I guess. So you're buying little orc dudes inside of boxes. That's kind of hilarious when you think about it. An orc box. You buy orc boxes. So you can do that and spend money and probably beat the game the same day. Or you can grind and pretty much not have fun and waste hours to get a good enough army to get this extra ending. Allegedly, it's an extra ending. That's what DSP say. Most people say to beat the game, but the way he's saying it's a special ending. And he is defending the fuck out of this. He's saying, don't listen to these YouTubers. Don't be a sheep. If you listen to them and believe them, you a brain dead idiot and all of this garbage. And at the end of the day, the reason why he is treating this situation this way is because his views are down. And he think his views are down because people don't want to watch the game because the game got a bad reputation. But you shouldn't, this is his words, don't boycott the game because it does something you don't like. So we should go to GameStop, Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy, whatever, see this $60 game and say, I know this game has a thing I don't like. It's a single player game with loot boxes. And you need to either buy loot boxes or play shit you don't want to play to get a certain ending. I know all of this, but I'm still going to buy the game anyway and deal with it because the game is still good. And his logic is, if we don't buy the loot boxes, but we do buy the game, stuff like this won't continue to happen. I call bullshit. Stuff like this is going to happen more because the game developers, remember when Shadow of War did the loot boxes? People still bought the game. The game sold great. Oh, but sir, how much did the loot boxes sell? Who cares? Because the thing is, this shit takes like maybe 10% development time to put a loot box system in a game. Maybe not even that. You develop some shit for the game, items, enemies, weapons, whatever the fuck. Well, not enemies. You wouldn't get enemies in the loot box. That'd be weird. Enemies in the loot box. Items, mechanics, weapons, whatever the fuck. You develop that shit. You don't put it in the main game. You put it in a loot box, and you got to go through RNG to try to get it. It probably takes no time to develop. And if people still buy the game that has the shitty thing that everybody complained about, then new games are going to get the same shitty thing that everybody complained about. Because it takes no money and no real time and effort to put the shitty thing that everybody complained about in the game. So therefore, the only way you can combat this loot box garbage is by flat out not buying the game. You can play the game however you want to play it, red box it, torrent it, whatever the fuck. But if you do that, you know, it's still just like not buying it. But I didn't tell you that part. But anyway, let's get to his complaining. I already found timestamps for him. I hope I did. Let's see here. Okay.
Now that being said, folks, all that being said,
audio ought to be good.
I'm enjoying the game. 8 hours
bit anyway.
It's good. People coming to the streams are saying they're enjoying it, yet stream attendance apparently has been dwindling massively. YouTube, I don't know. I haven't even checked
what
the
the
videos
fuck
on
is
YouTube,
going
but you
on
have
here?
to assume it's probably the same thing, right?
79.
That people probably aren't watching the playthrough that much on YouTube, and all I'm hearing about this fucking
Does it get louder?
is that loot boxes have ruined it. The
this
end
is
of the
where
game
this
is
does
a
nothing.
horrible grind.
So we got to
The
deal with
loot
this audio
boxes
level.
ruin the game, and you have to buy the loot boxes to beat the game. Hours of gameplay, it's good. People coming to the streams are saying they're enjoying it, yet stream attendance apparently has been dwindling massively.
Stream attendance has been dwindling massively. If the stream attendance didn't go down, he would give no fucks. Dude, when he plays so many games, his whole chat spends so much time shitting on everything. His chat talk about politics all day. His chat call everything SJW games. Literally, if a game has a black person in it, the chat is like, oh, this fucking SJW game. He gives no fucks about that. But when people don't show up and he got something to blame for it, that's not himself, he is going to do it. It used to be this site on plays. It used to be people stealing his views. Now it's the media shitting on it. Well, these popular YouTubers are shitting on this game, and people not watching me play it because they think it's bad because of the popular YouTubers. So now that's why he mad. It's never his fault. Never. You could show him 60,000 people watching some dude play it, and he'd be like, oh, well, he gets those views because he's already popular, because people like him. Well, I'm sorry, DSP, but if your entire business model completely relies on the game being good to get any attention at all, you might be doing something a little bit wrong, Baba. You might want to rethink everything.
YouTube, I don't know. I haven't even checked the videos on YouTube, but you have to assume it's probably the same thing, right? That people probably aren't watching the playthrough that much on YouTube, and all I'm hearing about this fucking game is that loot boxes have ruined it. The end of the game is a horrible grind, and the loot boxes ruin the game, and you have to buy the loot boxes to beat the game. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, folks. I really don't even want to hear it ever again, and here's why. If you're fucking such a sheep that you're not actually following people who are playing the game, but instead you're just following these stupid
you could play this shit at 1080p
videos on YouTube, and these dumb fuck YouTubers who have to hype up drama in order to get views and basically slander games in order to get fucking views because they're in such dire straits with their ad revenue plummeting and everything, which is obviously what this whole fucking stupid controversy is about. You need to wake up.
So he actually believes that people are complaining about the loot boxes online because ad revenue is low and because they in dire straits. Apparently all of these YouTubers that do this are in dire straits. Coming from the dude that went to Twitch because he's in dire straits. Coming from the dude that has shout outs during his stream, something he said he would never do because he in dire straits. Coming from the dude that has notifications on his fucking Let's Play videos because he wants extra money, because he's in dire straits. The dude that has a Let's Play video start off like this.
Alright, so shout out to X-Vorigamafrog, who just chewed 10 bits. Holy crap, what a name.
The dude that has his Let's Play video start off like that because he's in dire straits. Something that if you would show this to him 2 years ago, he would have said, you fucking crazy. I would never do that in a YouTube video. That's garbage. I don't do shout outs. He's saying these other people that are more successful than him, or at least got a real job on top of doing YouTube. I hate to use the term real job. but at least got a regular job on top of doing YouTube. He's saying those people are on dire straits. If you're talking about Jim Sterling, I don't even know if he monetizes the videos. I remember he didn't do that for a long time. I don't know why he would now, because he get a lot of money on Patreon. If you're talking about like Total Biscuit, I don't even know if he did videos on this. No, he did. But if you're talking about Total Biscuit, you think Total Biscuit really is that fucking desperate for money to do a video shitting on Shadow of War, and that's gonna get him a bunch of attention? I don't know who he could be talking about. He knows, and this is another thing. He tell us all the time he don't watch other YouTubers. So how would he say that these YouTubers are on dire straits he doesn't even know? I don't know. It's just assumptions. Fair enough.
You need to wake up.
Wake up.
Fucking smarten up.
Smarten up.
All right. I'm well aware that there have been YouTubers who have been ranting.
If you don't like Shadow of War because of the Lootboxe situation, you need to smarten up. You are not smart enough. You should think about everything with an open mind, like DSP. Because DSP is very open-minded.
And doing nothing but talking about microtransactions and loot boxes for the past week. Do you really think they would do that unless it benefited them? Honestly? Because I've played 8 hours of Shadow of War, and I haven't had to open a single loot box, and the game is good.
He didn't beat it. The people complaining about it are the people that tried to beat the game. They didn't play 8 hours of the game and say it's good. 10 out of 10, bro. Ignore the loot box haters. That's what he doing. So actually, he being more irresponsible than the people that saying you need to spend money to beat the game, because he's not even halfway through the game, and he's saying ignore people complaining about the loot boxes because I didn't have to open one yet. And I was thinking about this earlier. And me saying it in the video is like a 5% chance that's going to affect it maybe not happening. But I think he's going to beat this game out of spite. Just so he can say, look, I beat the game and I didn't open a loot box. Even if he have to grind. Even though you don't have to go back 6 months to find games he didn't beat because he didn't want to grind. And somehow Shadow of War is one of the best games of the year coming from him. Just out of nowhere, that was a statement he made. I don't think he said it in this video, but apparently this is one of the best games of the year. He said Persona 5 was one of the best games of the year, and he didn't even finish that. He didn't even stream it and not upload it. That's what a lot of people did. He didn't even do that. And that was one of his best games of the year, allegedly. And he probably forgot the name of it.
All right.
That
now,
fucking Japanese thing? What's that?
From people who actually have beaten the game, all right, the game has 4 acts. The first 3 acts are the meat of the game and consistent of what the story actually is. Okay? So, the first 3 acts, guess what? You don't have to open loot boxes, ever. The first 3 acts of the game you can easily just play through. And yes, there's a bit of a grind recruiting your troops, just like there was in the original Shadow of Mordor. This is no different. I mean, it's the same style of gameplay. You know, the same exact kind of thing that you had in the first game. You have to recruit a bunch of orcs to your army, send the armies out to conquer. You know, this is the same thing. What were people expecting in this game? They were going to completely change the fucking formula? I don't get it. It's a sequel, folks. It's not a new game, completely a new IP. It's going to have the same gameplay elements as the first game. You should have expected that.
Now he's praising The Evil Within 2, because The Evil Within 2 is obviously a sequel, and that game is way different than the first game. He's praising it for the same reason that he's saying this game is good. So this game is good because it's a sequel and it's the same. Evil Within 2 is good because it's a sequel and it's different. What fucking constitutes a game not being good? I don't know. In the hardcore gaming season, every game is good because their revenue is up and the views are down.
Well, from what reviewers are saying, you don't need to open loot boxes or anything at all, okay? Basically, everything's fine with that. And it's not until the 4th and final act, which is optional, is not required, because the game technically ends after the 3rd act. But if you want to see the super secret ending, it's basically
well, let's think about this wording right here. And it, like, DSP knows nothing about it in the game. He's going by other information that he is poorly relaying to the viewer. But just going by what he's saying at face value, he said the game got 4 acts. You beat 3 acts, you beat the game. The 4th act, you got to grind or you buy loot boxes to get a better orc army, and then you can beat the game, super beat it, I guess, whatever the fuck. But if it's really 4x, and if you wanted to say each act was 25%, that means you miss 25% of the game. If you don't grind, which isn't fun, I'm sorry, grinding is not fun, unless you're playing Disgaea or some shit maybe, or unless you really like World of Warcraft type gameplay. So you either grind or you spend money to beat the grind, which makes it a paywall. Going by what I said earlier in this video. You do one of those two, or you just don't beat it. You don't get the extra 25% of the game. You see no issue with this DSP? Because you beat the game already, you don't need that extra 25%, that extra 4th chapter? Are you serious?
True ending cutscene, okay?
Okay.
Think Batman Arkham Knight, okay? Where you can actually technically beat the game, but then if you want to see the true ending of the game, you have to grind endlessly to do all the Riddler trophies and shit like that.
That shit was stupid as fuck. The Batman shit.
A lot of people didn't like that, but, you know, they didn't sell bat boxes. If WB Games sold bat boxes, and if you bought the bat boxes,
you probably
allowed
wanted
you
to
to just pass those riddles and get to the ending of the game, maybe people would have been up in arms. Okay, I can understand that, but at the same time, it's a single-player game. If you're playing, all right, if you're playing a game that's single player, and you want to see the super secret ending, not even the canon ending, but you want to see the super secret ending cutscene, and you don't want to go through the grinding that the game was designed to require you to do to see that ending, and you want to pay for a shortcut to do it, I don't see the problem with that. All right, I do see the problem with loot boxes if they allow you to get in-game stuff for a competitive online game and you get an edge because you spent more money. That I disagree with. Okay.
Okay.
But if you're gonna have problems with a game, it's just a single-player game, and you pay.
Let's talk about this shit for a second. We in pre-stream right now, right? Let's go over what we're seeing. This is a 39-minute long video. 39 minutes. He had no fan off of Shadow of War because nobody cares about the game. So his pre-stream is check out these shirts. Go to Patreon. Go to KO Gaming. I just fucking noticed. His pre-stream shit promotes KO Gaming, a channel he's literally never gonna upload to again. What? But the second slide, buy shirts. Go to Teespring. Look at my vlogging channel. Look at my Twitter. Look at my Patreon. Look at KO Gaming. The third slide is shirts. Buy this stuff. Go here. Shirts. Buy this stuff. Go here. It's 2 slides. Buy these shirts. Buy this stuff. For 40 minutes, this is being slapped in your face. And people still barely buy this shit. He could have a hamster running on a wheel for his fucking pre-stream, and it would be miles more entertaining than buy these shirts and buy this stuff and watch these videos. Yes, subscribe to KO Gaming right now so you can never see another video get uploaded. Wonderful.
Skip, and you know, you know, if you pay to skip what you would consider to be boring, grinding, time-consuming gameplay to see an ending, then so be it. What's the problem with that? There's going to be people who want to do that, okay? Now, some people would say, oh, it's a dishonest practice.
What's the problem with something that can ruin a fucking gameplay experience? What's the problem with something that can completely fuck over an entire, I can't talk today. You know what the fuck I mean. This is dumb. It's a single player game that has you have microtransaction loot boxes. It's a single player game that costs $60 and it has weird microtransaction loot boxes that give you little orc dudes in them. The fuck is that weird shit? That sounds fucking weird. And it's required to do that or to play the game extra time and waste your time to get a certain ending. Imagine if you get to the end of Persona 5, because people like that game. Imagine you get to the end of Persona 5, and the game tell you, you need, what's a good godlike fucking Persona? Is Beelzebub, or however you say it, isn't that a Persona? I think it is. That's the only one I could think of right now. The game tell you, hey, you need this godlike fucking Persona. And the people that play these games know it take a good bit of effort to get some of these personas. You got to get like 3 personas from the beginning of the game and fuse them, and get like 4 from the middle of the game and fuse them, and fuse what you got from both of those other fusions to get a thing, and then you fuse that with a thing from the end of the game, and then you get like a big fly spider dude. Imagine if Persona 5 was to tell you, hey, you need this, so figure out how to do it, or you can open some Persona boxes for $2 a piece. So you buy 14 Persona boxes and spend $30 or whatever. Or you go back and play the fuck out of the game and read guides and shit. And now you got your cool ass Persona and you're ready to fight the boss to get the real ending. You got the ending, but you do this to get the real ending. You don't think that would be kind of dumb and bad and shitty and worth complaining about? That's basically what this game doing. People are complaining about it, and people are showing their distaste for the game because this exists in the game. And he's complaining about those people complaining and calling them sheep and calling them idiots because they don't want to watch his shitty Let's Play videos when he give a shout out and don't talk for 10 seconds and say, oh, look at that. Because they don't want to show up to his shit. Because if people was watching him play this game, he wouldn't be complaining about this. Almost every game he play, people like the internet, somebody bitch about it a lot, and he never goes on a campaign to try to negate the complaints. What he's trying to do is delegitimize. Is that a word? It sounds like a word. It's like he trying to delegitimize the people complaining because they listen to other people that complain. Like, well, if you think Shadow War is bad because it has loot boxes, you obviously got your opinion from this other guy, so you fucking stupid and you a sheep. You should listen to me and I guess not be a sheep somehow. Watch me play it and form your own opinion from watching me play it. But I already said in the same pre-stream that it's one of the best games of the year. So I wonder what opinion you're going to form from watching me play it.
It lines the pockets of EA and the game developers or whatever.
EA.
Yeah, it does. But the bottom line is, it's in the hands of the consumer to decide whether or not they feel that seeing a super secret ending without grinding is worth spending extra money for. That's in the hands of the consumer, right? The game, Shadow of War.
Bruh, this is like if I was to go to a courtroom and tell like some lawmakers or some shit, you guys should make, crack legal because the only people that buy it, they're stupid. It's up to people on what they want. It's up to people based on what they want to get. Sure, it's bad and it lines the pockets of drug dealers, but that's what he's doing here. This thing should be allowed to exist because, people might get it, but
money for it. That's in the hands of the consumer.
See, it's in the hands of the consumer.
The game, Shadow of War, does not require.
Why are we complaining about it? It's in the hands of the consumer.
It just presents the option. All right. So if you really want to complain about something, complain about human nature.
Complain about human nature.
Complain about humans who have all this disposable income, and instead of putting it towards something productive or important, they put it towards something stupid and they take shortcuts.
Complain about people that instead of putting their money towards something important, like DSP's bills, they put it towards advancing in the game faster than they should. And then they want to take shortcuts. You calling people out for wanting to take shortcuts as you duck and dodge getting the job and go back on doing things you said you would never do to avoid getting the job.
Okay. That's the real problem here. The bottom line is if human nature was disciplined, and if humans had some kind of self-fucking control, right?
If humans had self-control, they wouldn't buy the loot boxes. Like, think about how fucking shitty this logic is. This thing should be allowed to exist because if people were smarter, they wouldn't interact with it. With that logic, no law should exist because smart people won't break the law, right? Why is murder legal? Oh my God, legal? Why is murder illegal? Because smart people will know not to kill somebody, right? So why is it illegal anyway? It should be legal because smart humans and intelligent humans wouldn't do that anyway because they know it's wrong. That's the logic you're giving us. And obviously I'm giving a really dumb example. I'm just making a point though. But that's the logic you're trying to give us. This shouldn't be outcasted because the smart people won't do it anyway. Just let it exist. Ignore it. You know how different the world would have been if people would have thought this way? Well, it doesn't affect me. You know, I'm not interacting with it. I'm not negatively affected by it. Just let it exist. It's cool. If you don't like it, you don't deal with it. But those people that do like it and deal with it, let them do it. Fucking slavery will still exist. It's ridiculous.
Right? You wouldn't have microtransactions at all because no one would spend money on them. They'd say, I already bought this game. Why am I going to spend more money on it?
As long as something makes any money, it's going to exist in video games. As long as one person buy a microtransaction, it made money. This shit takes no time and no money to develop, period. If you was to make up numbers and say it take $100 to make a game, to put a microtransaction system in with loot boxes probably would take $5 out of that $100 to make. They're gonna make that back, probably off one person. Phil, I would wish I could join you, but I don't want to get spoiled. Might wait to get to complete edition when it comes out in October. Broketober, got to prioritize. You gotta prioritize, but you just sent DSP $5 to get some bad emotes. Fair enough.
And you never see anyone put additional money into it, right? It's the consumer's fault that they come in and they dump all this fucking money into these. It's
the consumer's fault that WB and the developers, because I'm not gonna blame it on just WB, because people always like to do that too. People did that when Mass Effect Androgynous came out. I know it's Andromeda. I call it Androgynous for some reason. People complained when that game came out and said, no, blame EA. Don't blame the devs, blame EA. The devs still made the fucking game. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that discussion now. Not today, at least. But blame everybody else.
As I said on my stream yesterday,
this video way too long.
Mobile games. Mobile games are 100% paid to win, 100% game.
Sure.
Showing that in the first 8 hours of the game, it's been a pretty great game. And there hasn't been one reason to open a loot box, okay?
Because you wouldn't have started the game.
4 acts, like I said, the first 3 acts of the story. The 4th act is basically an endless grind. We're trying to unlock this secret ending. I'm now in Act 2, so you got to figure if there's 3 acts, maybe another 8 hours. So the game's going to be 16 hours long, okay?
Okay.
And I'm enjoying the hell out of it. But
listen to this. The game is 4 acts. And he's okay with possibly not even playing the 3rd act. That's what he's trying to tell us. This dude is so fucking fake, bruh. I guarantee you, if this game came out in March of this year, and a bunch of other games was out, even if this was not even a mainstream game, if this game came out in March and it was like a $30 indie game, he would be shitting on it. He would not defend this game. He defended this game in 3 pre-streams, and he probably did it on Twitter too. He would not do that if it wasn't this time of the year when ad revenue was up. That's why he cared about views. He would not do it if this wasn't some mainstream $60 game, and he would not do it if this wasn't the start of the hardcore gaming season. The dude is so fucking see-through. It is unbelievable. The same thing he doing, as a matter of fact, I got a perfect fucking example. And I might be done. I might just skip to the next video after this because it's the same thing, just 3 times over. The perfect example, and I don't even need to find him doing this. The people that's watching this video definitely know this dude goes out of his way to shit on fighting game players that praise games. When Marvel Infinite came out, he shit on people that praised that. When Street Fighter V was relevant, he shit on people that praised that. When Street Fighter 4, well, Ultra Street Fighter 4 was relevant, he shit on people that praised that. These people praise these games and they say these games are good because they want you to show up to the streams and send me donations, yo, and sub to get my emotes, yo. That's the same shit he used to say, right? And he's sitting up here praising this game. And he's sitting up here defending them, having a microtransaction shit, saying, "Oh, if you don't like it, just don't fucking buy the microtransactions, but buy the game and watch me play the game, but don't buy the microtransactions." He doing the same thing he shit on those FGC players for doing. FGC players, the FGC people. He doing the same thing he shit on them for doing, for praising the game allegedly because they need you to like the game, or at least want to watch the game. Because if you playing a game and you saying this game sucks and this game is bad, eventually people are gonna not want to watch you play the game anymore, right? Especially when it comes to a game like Shadow of War. It's not like Street Fighter when you can watch him shit on it and lose, and it's funny to see him lose. It's, well, if you don't like it, I'm probably not gonna be interested, so I'm gonna leave. So he's sitting up here, he doing the same thing that he shit on those FGC people for doing. Because he said when Marvel Infinite was new, he flat out said the people that say this game was good, saying it's good because they want you to watch them play it because they need money. Period. He said that flat the fuck out. He didn't even say it might be their opinion that it's good. He made a blanket statement and said if you like this game, you a sheep, you don't know real fighting games, or you playing it for money. As he defends the thing on the internet that no other person is going to defend unless they need to defend it to make money. Yikes, Dave.
But yet everyone I see on the internet is slandering this game.
Slandering.
Shadow of War sucks. You need loot boxes to beat it. It's a piece of shit. Don't play.
Do you know what slander means?
Just look at, do this. I swear, you'll get a laugh out of this, okay?
You'll get a laugh.
Go look at user reviews for the game versus critic reviews for the game. Critics are saying, wow, this game's pretty solid. It's an improvement over Shadow of Mordor. Yes, it's a lot like the first game, but that's a good thing because the first game was good. 8 out of 10, right? That's kind of like the general consensus of what professional reviewers are doing. Then look at the user review. 1 out of 10, loot boxes required. 2 out of 10, loot boxes. Loot boxes, loot boxes, loot boxes. All right? People are fucking sheep. They pick these people on YouTube to be their fucking figureheads, their idols, their gurus. They're people who will speak out against great injustices in the world of gaming. And instead of doing any actual kind of intelligent thought or research for themselves, they just believe what these people say as the God's honest truth. Even when there's evidence to the contrary, there's playthroughs of this game, including mine, showing the game doesn't fucking need loot boxes to be good. But people are fucking stupid. Okay? I don't even know what else to say. Like, it's so frustrating to me that in the modern era, we're also caught up in hype and or drama and all this shit. Destiny 2 will sell a ridiculous amount of copies despite being a repetitive copy of the first game with nothing original.
Now, it's a David D. Davidson video he uploaded about this, and he put like some little stuff in it and like did some rewinds on stuff. He said in this same video that Shadow of War is like Shadow of whatever the fuck the first game was, and that was a good thing. And then 10 minutes later, he tells us that Destiny 2 is like Destiny 1, and he implies that Destiny 2 making sales is bad because it's like Destiny 1. So, because he didn't like Destiny 1, Destiny 2 being like Destiny 1 is a bad thing, and the game is illegitimate. But he likes Shadow of War, which is, wow, the current game he's playing, isn't that fucking something, right? It's okay for that to be like the first game because that game was good.
Yet Shadow of War, which actually
it's not even the same type of game.
Sell it all because everyone's talking about loot boxes in a negative, dramatic way to get views on.
Dramatic way.
Unfucking believable.
Also, everyone's talking about loot boxes in a negative, dramatic way to get attention. As he uploads a video talking about loot boxes, saying why you shouldn't always believe in gaming drama. He even put shit in caps. He thought this would get views. It only got 800 views. Nobody watches his fucking pre-streams on YouTube except jackasses like me. He talking about it in a dramatic fashion. But it's okay because he doing it, I guess. Fair enough.
Seriously, I'm so frustrated at this. I've been waiting for Shadow of War all year. It's one of the games I was hyped for. I'm playing it now and I like it. But all I hear people, oh, I'm not going to watch this. This is a game that needs loot boxes to fucking, to beat it. And it's wrong. You're actually stupid and wrong if you're saying that because you believed the bullshit from a bunch of YouTubers.
You are stupid and wrong if you think you need loot boxes to beat this game that DSP hasn't beaten yet.
who are just looking to make a buck. You fell for it. You got the wool pulled over your eyes, and because you did no research on yourself for yourself, no independent thought, you just believed what they said. Now you're missing out on a game that, at least the first 8 hours, has been a great game.
The first 8 hours. Also, he's trying to pull the wool over our eyes. He's trying to tell us that those people are stupid. Don't listen to them. Listen to me. But be an independent thinker. But don't listen to them and listen to me. Yikes.
Okay.
Okay. Also, you gotta let's also think about this. He started the pre-stream about this. This was his discussion for the pre-stream. No one even sent him a question asking about anything. And we're gonna get into this a little bit later on in this video too. He really wants to talk about this and get his point across with this to try to get people to keep watching the shitty fucking playthrough of it. It's a boring game. You don't make it more interesting.
So ridiculous.
Deal with it.
So now, Freaks
instead of finding other people to blame.
There's not really anything wrong with people not wanting to support a growth.
Look at this fucking.
Model. That's fine.
That's fine.
I agree with you. If you don't want to support the loot box system of Shadow of War, then don't support it. Don't buy the loot boxes. That doesn't mean boycott the game and then publicly fucking slander it and make it so that anyone who's playing it and enjoying it now has a bad time because everyone's telling them the game fucking sucks because it has
he's not having a bad time. He's getting low views, and he's blaming the low views for this.
Loot boxes in it. That's the difference here. If people could just be mature and be intelligent about these kind of issues, that would be one thing, right? If you could say, okay, we understand the loot box system exists in the game, don't spend money on it, instead just play the game for what it is and enjoy it. That would
play the game for what it is and enjoy it. One of the dumbest things a person could say. Spend $60 to play something for what it is. We only have one life to live, DSP. We don't have infinite money as well. I don't think that's a very smart way of going about life to say play a game for what it is. We could play a game that we actually like. We can play a game that we think is better. We could play a game that we think is cheaper. We could save our $60 and spend it on something else. Play the game for what it is. How many games has DSP not played for what it is? Jeez, it's so obvious and blatant. Him defending his fucking game.
The mature thing to do. Instead, people have to completely blow it out of proportion and say overall the game is terrible because you can't beat it without spending extra money on loot boxes, which is false. It's a lie. It's a blatant fucking lie about the game because YouTubers wanted to make money. So they hyped it up like that. They made over dramatic videos about it. They sit on Twitter for fucking 3 days straight whining about it to try to make it so that it would be all the people talk about this fucking week. And I've had enough of it. You know? Seriously.
Seriously.
I like this game. I like this game. And I'm actually pissed. I'm legitimately pissed that I'm enjoying a game that's good and no one is agreeing with me or people won't give the game a chance.
He's mad because no one is agreeing with him. Is he 12?
Right? Because of this negative shit stirred up by a bunch of fucking whiny little greedy YouTubers.
Whiny, greedy YouTubers. Well, that fit somebody.
That pisses me off. And, you know, it sucks because here I am. I've been waiting the entire year for the hardcore gaming season. Here's one of the first major AAA releases of the hardcore gaming season. Oh, this game's terrible because of loot boxes, so everyone skip it. No one watch it. What the fuck? So what else can we do? Let's see. The Evil Within.
Listen to this. Listen to this.
Homosexuals. So no one watched The Evil Within. No one played The Evil Within.
I'm sorry, but I think if a game insulted homosexuals, it would be a pretty valid reason to not play the game. And I think he realized that what he said was really dumb and it was a really bad example. So he follows up with this.
The Fractured Butthole. Let's see.
He can't even think of anything.
We have to find like something offensive or something annoying or dramatic about every game, so there's an excuse so that people won't play the game and won't watch it.
If a game offended gay people purposely, it would be dramatic. Okay.
Let's do it. Let's make everything up.
Let's make everything up. Make it up.
This is ridiculous.
Make it up.
Why can't we all just be
fake news
and not have over dramatic reactions and not be fucking little whiny babies about everything?
Let's not be whiny babies.
People live up to their role models, and when you have YouTube role models who are whiny fucking babies, who all they do is stir up drama for their own attention, then obviously you're going to act like that too. And that's pathetic. That means you need a better role model, folks. You know?
He tells us that he isn't a role model, whatever. I am not a role
Pretty
model.
ridiculous.
I feel like that's a presidential quote. Like some old president said that shit.
Anyway, I had
Are
to
we
get that
done?
off my chest 'cause
Okay,
I'm
we
pissed 'cause
done.
Here I am
Jesus.
playing game, enjoying it.
All right, that's the first fucking the first fucking act. This is the second act. The next day, huge day. Evil Within returns. He's not even playing. He literally not even playing Shadow of War, and he starts his pre-stream talking about Shadow of War.
Today will be more of this. 4 more hours of a balance again between the story.
I might be in the wrong
and
time though. I might need to fast
raising
forward.
my
I don't know
army
yet.
and taking over territories in the game. So I hope you're excited for that. I'm sure those of you who've been here all
Oh,
night
no.
watching me play this game are excited for that.
Huh?
You know, those of us who don't buy into the hype of
He just talked about Evil Within, but this say no. He just talked about Shadow of War. But it say Evil Within, and then the game is listed as Shadow of War. What the fuck? Fair enough. Whatever.
negativity of drama and all this shit.
Um.
You know, those of us who don't believe everything they hear, or everything they're told, I guess I should say, from people who see themselves as big YouTube figureheads and gurus who must...
Who the fuck are these people? They see themselves as gurus? Is he? Does he think did Guru Larry talk about this? I don't watch him. Did he see Guru Larry and he was like, oh, this guy thinks he's a fucking gaming guru? Who is he talking about? They see themselves as big YouTubers and gurus of gaming. Who the fuck are these people that say I'm a big YouTuber and a guru of video games? That's like if somebody was to see my name as Almighty Tevin and be like, wow, this guy thinks he's fucking godlike. He thinks he's almighty. That's just like when people say DSP is the king of hate and they say, oh, he's the king of hate and all and stuff. And DSP get really triggered when you say that. Is he basing his opinion of somebody based on their name? Or I don't know where he pulling this information from. Guru of
tell you
gaming.
what to play and what not to play and what's good
They
and
tell us what to play.
what's bad,
Yo.
what's a business practice that you should support and what you shouldn't. Listen, I completely agree that there's a slippery slope when it comes to loot boxes in video games, but I've already played Shadow of War for 12 hours. I have not been affected by these whatsoever.
Because you're not at
I've
the
been
end of the
having
game. Dude, people literally have said the end of the game is when you have to grind or when you have to buy a loot box. He's still not at the end of the game, and you're like, I haven't bought a loot box yet. Because you're not at the end of the fucking game. It's like if I was to tell somebody about Overwatch and say, well, if you get past a certain level, you're going to have to buy loot boxes, or you're going to have to play the fuck out of the game to get one loot box. It take like hours to get one loot box, unless you're doing specific event garbage, and I don't like doing that. That's like if somebody was to level up 3 times. They level 3, and they say, wow, I'm level 3. I got like 17 loot boxes, and I didn't even buy one yet. You fucking lied about loot boxes. Play the same amount I did. Get to the point I'm at. Then tell me I'm wrong. He hasn't got to the point that those people got to when they brought up this complaint, and he's calling them wrong. Get to the end of the game. Get to chapter 4, whatever the fuck. Beat the game, and then say we was wrong. Because that's why I think he's gonna beat this game. I think he's gonna beat it out of spite, just to say he beat it without buying loot boxes. I kind of hope he do, so I can be right. But then I kind of hope he don't, because I know he isn't gonna enjoy it, and the people that show up are not gonna enjoy it. It's a boring game. He boring. It's not a good combo. He needs exciting games to get views. He knows that because he's fucking boring, and he really don't talk about anything. Matter of fact, let's show how much he talks about stuff. I never watched this video, but I'm gonna go up a little bit. I'm gonna get 44. Never watched this video.
Assuming I'm supposed to.
Never watched this video. I think Shadow of War is really boring. I don't know anything about Lord of the Rings. I think all of it's boring, to be honest. That's just me. So let's go to shit. I don't know. Let's just fast forward to a random part in the video and see what he's talking about.
There he is.
Okay, there he is. Look at those
Oh, this is so
textures.
different. What the fuck? Gee, you think they're close up enough? Look at this. What the fuck? Look at this camera.
Okay, pointing out the obvious on screen. Wonderful. Another video. See what he's talking about.
There we go.
You know nothing of suffering, or I can show you.
Yeah, watch this.
How long was I in this video? He said, "There we go," and yeah, let's watch this. Another video.
All right. Well, you know what? All right. Since people are
He
saying
always talking at the beginning of the videos.
Sure, the dead would also work.
Just talking for the characters.
All right. Very nice.
Very nice. Looking for donations and bits. He got none.
All right. Now where was I going? I got distracted. I was going to do the next.
But you got
one,
distracted
right?
by
Yeah,
somebody
there
sent
it
you
is.
money.
There we go.
Maybe. All right.
All right. To the next viewpoint. This way. Right here to the left.
Yeah, we can see that. It's to the left. It's a gaming video. We can look at it.
There it is. Straight ahead.
There it is, straight ahead. As I roll into the wall and look for donations on my laptop.
The roll and jump are the
Jesus.
same command. So if enemies are coming after you, look. Dude. I just
Complaining
went
about
wrong,
the controls.
see?
Okay.
That's the problem. Some of the commands are overlapping, and it's making it that it's not doing what I
Yeah, it's
want it
because
to do.
controllers only have a certain amount of buttons. You see what his gaming videos are, right? But nobody showing up to watch Shadow of War is everyone else's fault but his. When
This is a cool one. It's a white Karagor.
we can fucking tell. He points out that something is white. I'm looking at the screen. I can tell it's white. What is this? Not talking about anything.
Now you fucks.
This is the thing about DSP. He streams on Twitch. You know, even a 20 view stream, you can get a lot of discussion out of even 20 people showing up to your stream. He has 400 people in his stream talking about everything from politics to TV shows to cartoons to movies to fucking news to the natural disasters, all of that shit. He doesn't respond to any of it. That's easy mode conversations. It's like if somebody was to walk in the room while you're playing Street Fighter on your Game Boy and he like, "Oh shit, you playing Street Fighter?" And you'd be like, "Yeah," and then you just talk about Street Fighter. The way he treats it. You walk in the room, "Oh shit, you playing Street Fighter?" And he doesn't say anything. He just ignores it. He ignores everything unless you send him money or unless he's really fucking bored and it's been like 20 minutes since the donation. Then he'll be like, "Oh, this guy in the chat's talking about this." He got free discussion in front of his face and he doesn't take advantage of it because he thinks it's bad for a Let's Play video for a dude to talk about stuff that's not the game. But it's kind of bad to talk about just the game because this is the commentary you get.
There should have roared or something.
It's bad to just talk about the game because
Find an entrance.
this is the commentary you get.
Up there. No.
You gonna talk?
Time your strike.
There you go.
Critical strike.
It's bad to talk about just the game
All right.
because this is the commentary you get.
Like that.
There. Die, dumbass.
68 dislikes. Either this was the last video for the day. No, it wasn't. Well, it might have been. Either this is the last video for the day or he really acted like a jackass in this. Maybe that's why people are not watching you, dude, like you think. Maybe that's fucking why.
So I guess
Jesus.
my question here would be, why in the holy hell
That was a field
are people
trip.
boycotting this game and or treating it with such a negative hand, a negative spin, when in reality you could play this entire game for hours and hours on end and never be affected by this one thing that people are saying is so bad.
This is the equivalent of saying why are people boycotting the NFL because people was kneeing and shit when they did the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know. The fucking stupid song. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm not about to talk about that right now. That's like if you say why are people boycotting the NFL because players are taking a knee in the start of the game. That doesn't affect the game. You can just watch the rest of the game. That's his logic here. That doesn't affect everything. So why would you boycott everything? Maybe because it makes a bigger amount of noise. Maybe because it affects more. If you say, well, I don't like loot boxes, but I'm going to still buy the game, they still making a bunch of fucking money from you. But if you say, well, I don't like the loot boxes, so I'm not buying the loot boxes and I'm not buying your fucking game, then they realize that they fucked up. And the next game, they won't do it at all.
Yeah. Okay. It's because people don't look into things for themselves. They just believe. Okay. Believe what they're told. And some people are saying, oh, well, wait till Phil hits Act 4.
They just believe what they're told, as he does multiple pre-streams trying to change our opinion, which would be us believing what we told. But it's okay to believe what we're told if DSP tells us what to believe. GG. Good
Guys,
God.
12 hours in, I'm still in Act 2. So let me give you some perspective here.
The game is long. Therefore, it's okay for the end of the game to be shitty because the game is long and everything is good until the shitty part. That's what it's going to tell us here, so I'm going to skip forward.
Problem. Is that people just will write everything off because there's one thing negative at the end of the game. Let's just write off all the positive experience of the early game.
If the end of the game is really bad, it ruins the experience of playing the game in the first place. You can spend that 15, 20 hours you would have played getting to the end of the game on playing a game that's better all around. I wouldn't spend 15 hours playing a game knowing the end of the game is garbage when I can just get another game and spend 15 hours playing that, get to the end of the game, and the end is good too. How does he not understand this?
I don't believe in the loot crate or the loot box system. I actually disagree with
You know
that.
what? He might not understand this because he does gaming videos for a living and he don't have kids, he don't have a girlfriend, he don't even have pets. He literally doesn't even have anything. So all of his time is spent on watching movies, tweeting, posting on Instagram, and playing games. So of course somebody, when all of their time, most of their time is about playing games, of course they won't understand the fact that some people don't want to waste their time playing games that don't have a good ending. That's why people hate Mass Effect 3 so much, just because it ended. For the most part, just because it ended. Because they don't want to spend 2 games, and then the third game too, to get a bad outcome. Come on.
Stupid. Okay. And I said, I'm not going to be paying extra money to be finishing this game and getting the true ending of the game through loot boxes. I'm not. So if I can earn the stuff through in-game currency, great. If not, I guess I'm just grinding or dropping it. I don't know.
He grinding or dropping it?
And honestly...
Wow. You don't think it would be a waste of his time and his viewers' time if he got to the end of the game and then dropped it because of loot boxes? He doesn't understand that? Does he think everyone has infinite time? Does he think everyone lives forever? We're vampires. We live forever. We don't age. We don't have to go to work or go to school. And a day being 24 hours doesn't mean anything because the next day we can just do the same thing again anyway. All right.
My final thought, about the game, my review of the game, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to review it, but my final thoughts
don't
about
review
the game
anything.
Will be very honest and matter of fact after I've gotten to this part.
No, it won't be. Don't lie to yourself.
Affecting.
His review was going to be shitting on people that shit on the game.
That's the modern era. That's the modern era of drama, folks. Let's stir up drama to get attention for ourselves. So this week, a certain group of YouTubers all had their balls kissed all week and up to now. Okay. Alright, so that is it. Shadow of War on my first gameplay stream. Now, folks,
we done?
Tonight I am doing a second stream, but it's 8:30 p.m. So I already have my gameplay okay. So yes, I've updated my Patreon. What is the goal this month?
Wow.
If we hit the
Let me listen to this.
on my Patreon, at patreon.com/dark.
I want to hear how we hype this dumb shit up.
I will be doing a Player Unknown's Battlegrounds Marathon in November. That's right. The game that's the hottest game on PC right now. The game is the most played game on Steam. I think at one point it had 2 million concurrent players. What the fuck? That's insane. Okay. I'll be doing a marathon of this game.
Look at this fucking hype fag right here. I'm going to play this game. Why am I going to play it? Well, dude, it's popular. Wonderful. And this is the last one, Act 3. This video actually going to be less than an hour and a half. I'm proud of myself. I don't know how it ended up being an hour in the first place, but I guess I rambled a lot. Pre-stream October 13th. The Evil Within 2 is dope. DSP finally transitioned out of 1989 into 1990. So he uses the term dope to talk about a video game. It's dope. Buy it. It's like The Chronic. The Evil Within 2 is The Chronic. It's dope. Buy it. Dr. Dre, why did you name the album The Chronic? You know, because it's dope. Buy it. Such a good interview.
Because, I don't know. To me, it's kind of like Mrs. Doubtfire. And I
oh, yo, this transition is fucking phenomenal. Somebody asked him if he watched Madea movies. His opinion is, I don't think Madea is funny because the joke is him dressing up as a woman, which stopped being a joke legit fucking 10 years ago. The Madea movies are way different than what they used to be. Like when it was actual plays. The movies, way different. But he dumb, so he doesn't know that. And he bases his opinion on, I don't know, and white people in the Madea movies. I never knew a white person that watched Madea movies. Maybe they exist. Now somebody gonna post a comment, Tevin, I'm fucking white, I don't watch Madea movies.
Fire was funny either.
But he transitions from talking about Madea movies and his opinion being that they're not funny and to talking about the Shadow of War.
A guy who's cross-dressing and blatantly is not a woman, acting like a woman, trying to be funny. Like, to me, that's not funny, but that's just my personal preference. I don't think that's funny. Some people may. Okay.
That's not even a joke of the
I don't think it's
movies
funny.
anymore.
So why am I going to watch movies?
It's just the character, but it's not the joke. That's not the sole focus of the humor.
I don't think that's funny.
He obviously never watched the Madea movies.
Doubtfire had like 14 sequels. That's pretty much.
No, it's not the same thing. Sorry. You're not correct on this, buddy.
Shout out to Shadow Steve, who did a 50-bit cheer. He says, Shadow of War is a great game. Why don't people just boycott the boxes? Instead, they miss out on a great
Never
game.
mind. He didn't transition from that to in the Shadow of War. Somebody sent him money asking about Shadow of War. During an Evil Within 2 stream, somebody sent him money saying stuff about Shadow of War. Bait.
A shame, really. Shadow
Obvious
Steve,
bait.
I have a good answer for you. Here's why.
Obvious
because
bait.
People are not mature. Okay?
But let's listen to this
People
dumbass
are gonna watch
question.
Movies based on, here's why. He says, instead they miss out on a great. Who did a 50-bit cheer? He says, Shadow of War is a great game. Why don't people just boycott the loot boxes?
Boycott the loot boxes and buy the game. So they can know that they can put loot boxes in the game and people still buy it. I'm telling you what's going to happen if you do this. And I talked about this multiple times, and I've been going over it multiple times. I'm going to be as simple as I can be about it. If you know something dumb and that you don't like is in the game, and you buy the game anyway and ignore the dumb thing that you don't like, guess what? The next game is going to have the same thing too. Because no matter what, somebody's going to buy these loot boxes. They probably already made the profit already. They probably made the amount of money off the loot boxes to make it worth it to put the loot boxes in the game. So you trying to be a fucking internet activist and saying, well, I'm not going to fucking buy the loot boxes, but I'm going to buy the game. You already gave them $60. That they know they can do whatever they want to do and put whatever they want to put in their game, and it's going to get bought anyway. They not saying, well, Jonathan McDoug on Twitter, he didn't like the loot boxes, so well, we're not going to put the loot boxes in the next game. They're not going to say, well, Darkside Phil didn't buy loot boxes, so we're not going to put loot boxes in the next game. They're going to say, wow, our game sold really fucking good. And they had loot boxes in it, and we made some money off of that too. Shit, let's put that in the next game. That's why DSP begged for money every stream. That's why DSP still got his Patreon, even though he obviously started his Patreon after he left Twitch. To fill the gap that to fill a gap that was left when he left Twitch. But he back on Twitch getting like $6,000 a month, and he still got a Patreon. That's because he gets something from it. because he gets something from it, it's worth to keep doing it because it takes no money and no effort to do. Just like loot boxes, it takes no money and no effort to have that in the game. If you make some money, it's a profit. So keep it. Spending $60 on a game is helping the developers out a lot more, and the publisher. It's helping them out a lot more than than not buying the game or not buying loot boxes. Well, I bought Shadow of War, but I didn't buy loot boxes, so they know they shouldn't do loot boxes for the next game. You really think you're gonna have an impact? Somebody bought it. Definitely, somebody fucking bought it. If you don't like loot boxes, if you don't like anything being in any game, if you wholeheartedly don't like something that a game developer did, the only way you can show that you don't like it is not buying the game. Don't buy the game and don't buy DLC. Don't buy the game and not buy loot boxes. Don't buy the game and not like make a video about it or tweet about it. Don't buy it at all. That's the way you do something. That's the way you do something. And I can come up with a couple of examples. I'm not gonna do that because it's gonna make a really awkward conversation in the comments. But you don't have to support something and expect that to make a difference because it's not. It's not. So if you don't like the loot boxes, don't buy the game. It's other good games coming out. If you got a PC, you can fucking pirate it. Do that if you need to, if it's that bad. But don't sit up here and buy this game for $60 and then cry about the loot boxes and say, well, I didn't buy the fucking loot boxes. You still bought the game. They know that they can do whatever they want to do and somebody's still going to buy the game. Don't buy the game.
Instead, they miss out on a great game. A shame, really. Shadow Steve, I have a good answer for you. Here's why. Because people are not mature. Okay? People
are not mature because they didn't buy this game that did a thing that they obviously don't like. They're not mature. Snort.
Are not mature enough in the head.
They're not mature in the head.
Black and white, okay? In a mature adult world, you realize everything's shades of gray.
A dude that plays games for his living. A dude that tells strangers and teenagers about his bills. A dude that says he's stressed out, and we're going to go over that tweet right now because I'm going to forget about it. It's a fucking tweet this dude posted crying because he was getting wow, I still got a Yahoo email attached to this Twitter. Jesus. There's going to be some effort to find it, isn't it? No, his father. Is this it? That is not it. This is it. He tweeted, trying to fall asleep, but the stress won't let me. I like Shadow of War, but it's not catching on. I'm being told it's boring. This sucks. I'm hoping that the upcoming Mew releases Event New will be interesting to viewers, and I'll at least be able to get a few nights of good sleep. Now, what did he just say?
Shadow Steve. In the world, you realize everything's shades of gray. Okay? In a mature adult world.
A mature adult world. Mature adult DSP that has no responsibilities. Not even a pet. No responsibilities. His life revolves around random strangers and teenagers giving him 10 cents at a time. He resorted to doing shoutouts not because he wanted to show appreciation, but because he thought it would make him more money. He went back to a website he said he would never go back to. A website that he basically boycotted for 2 years because he thought it would make him more money. He still uploads to YouTube, a website he hates, a website he doesn't like anybody that, that's over it. He thinks the website is complete shit. He still uploads to it. He still monetizes his videos because he has no morals and because he just wants money. I don't monetize my videos. None of them. I never monetize videos on YouTube because I don't fucking like YouTube and I don't want to give Google any money. And if I monetize a video, it's going to give them something and it's going to give me something eventually on the back end. I don't want that because I don't want them to make any money. I don't really support YouTube. But DSP doesn't think that way. And DSP has hours of footage of him crying about YouTube and complaining about YouTube. Same with Nintendo. But he still buys Nintendo games. He still uploads to YouTube and monetizes videos because he cares about money over his actual morals and his actual beliefs. And he trying to tell us about the adult world? My nigga, what?
You realize everything's shades of gray. Not anyone is always definitively right. Not everyone is always definitively wrong. There's a lot of different perspectives.
I think like murderers and pedophiles, I think those people are definitively wrong, but it's shades of gray. I'm going to go up to a judge and tell him that. Tevin, why did you rape and pillage this entire town? We have dozens of casualties. Why did you do it? Did you know that this was wrong? Well, Yana, you know, the world is shades of gray. It's not black and white. It's all shades of gray. Let me get the fucking electric chair.
In the shoes of others. The perfect example here is Shadow of War.
Shadow of War. Let's get started.
The game is outstanding.
Outstanding! He didn't beat it yet, and he's saying it's outstanding because he got to dick ride these new games to get views. Because he knows less people to show up if they think he's not interested in the game and not liking it. But less people showing up anyway. It was a screenshot, and I wish I still had a link to it. Loophole had tweeted it from 2014 when Infamous Second Son was brand new. DSP had less than 400 views. In 2014, playing Infamous. It's 2017, he still get less than 400 views playing brand new games. His fan base is literally not grown. Every time somebody leave, another person come in and replace him. So instead of him actually being what he should be in 2017, he's still the same place he is. He's in the same place in 2017, at least on Twitch, that he was in 2014. Except he make more money now because he fucking asks for it every day. In 2014, he didn't start his pre-streams saying, send donations and send bits because bits didn't exist, and sub, and you get a notification, and you get a shout out. He didn't even give shout outs back then. Like, think about this. People would sub to this dude for like a year straight back when he was first on Twitch. They never got a shout out. You sub to him now, you send him 20 cents and you get a shout out, dude. You send him 20 cents and you get a shout out. Some people gave him dozens to hundreds of dollars when he was on Twitch the first time and never got a fucking shout out because he thought he was too good. His morals made him think he was too good to give a shout out, and he thought it would ruin his video. And he starts videos now giving shout outs. Think about that. I don't have a link anymore. Think about that. Anything for the almighty $_
Improves upon the
Jeez
of the
Louise.
formula of Shadow of Mordor in almost every single way.
Window button.
The combat is more free-flowing.
Look at him praising the fuck out of this game. Praising it.
Nemesis system is much improved. The actual need to be played. Alright. Now, the problem here is that we live in a very immature world and a very immature culture. Again, if people who were in positions of power and people who had big followings on YouTube and the internet were mature adults, they'd be able to see the video. They'd be able to see the situation objectively. And they would say, listen, the loot box situation is shitty, but the game is good. So if you like this type of game, still buy the game because there's been a ton of...
If they was mature, they would say support something you don't like. Because buying a game is supporting something you don't like. What does he not understand about this? We can go back to something, and I really wish I could find it. It's very easy to find. I'm gonna do a quick search and see if I can pull it up. Twitch fake SWAT. Shit. I can't find it. I think this might have been a Trick 2G thing. Maybe. I hope I'm not wrong. But somebody faked getting swatted on Twitch. And they got suspended for like a day or 2 days, I believe. And DSP went on a campaign about that shit against Twitch, and he was so fucking mad. And he was saying, I could never go back to a website like that doesn't get rid of somebody for stuff like that. I can't support a website that do stuff like that. That didn't have anything, well, it did have something to do with Twitch, but it was one person that did something dumb, and Twitch didn't completely ban them immediately forever. and he didn't like that. He had problems with that. But we should buy Shadow of War and not buy loot boxes because Shadow of War is a good game. Twitch is a good website. It's a couple of shitty people on Twitch. Shitty people everywhere. It's fucking like 6 billion people or some shit. Shitty people everywhere. It's easy as fuck to get on the internet. If you go on the internet, you're going to come across shitty people. It takes like 2 seconds and you're going to find some asshole and be like, wow, this dude is a fucking shithead. Does that mean that the internet is a bad place? No. Some people on the internet are bad. Is Twitch bad because one dude did something dumb and didn't get completely, immediately 100% banned? No, but that's the way he treated it. I can never go back to Twitch. Twitch is bad was basically his way of thinking, because they didn't completely ban that dude and completely 100% get rid of him after he faked getting swatted. And now he trying to tell us because it affects his pockets. He trying to tell us that this game having loot boxes isn't that bad because the rest of the game is good. You know how many situations you could put that to, big and small, that make it seem completely ridiculous to think that way? That a thing is good still, and you should support the thing because the thing that's around the thing that you like is really bad, but it doesn't affect the whole thing. Well, the director of this movie like murdered somebody and raped a bunch of people, and he fucking did $1 million in credit card fraud or some shit. But the movie really good, so I'm gonna buy the Blu-ray. That's the way he thinking about this. That's the way he trying to make us think about it. Unbelievable.
Effort and work made by these games.
But the people that say you need to buy loot boxes to beat the game, they're irresponsible. As he tells us to support a game that has a practice in it that we don't like. Those other people are irresponsible. Oh, wonderful.
Developers to put out an amazing game for you, but boycott the loot boxes.
I talked about this so much. I guess because it's something to have a discussion about.
They probably won't keep implementing these loot boxes into future games.
Nope.
Instead, that's not what's happening.
I said this already, and I'm gonna say it again, and it's gonna be my last time saying it. If a game has loot boxes in it, and people buy the game anyway, and don't buy the loot boxes, the next game, I guarantee you, is gonna have loot boxes, because it's impossible for every person that buy the game to not buy loot boxes. You could put out the worst game ever. You can put out legit a game that has no effort, no time, no care, no story, no good gameplay, and put loot boxes in it. At least one fucking dude is gonna say, wow, I wonder what I get if I spend money on this loot box. I'm sure Shadow of War at least sold a few 100,000 copies, right? It's a brand new AAA game. Everybody jacked off the last game, hardcore. Somebody bought loot boxes. Everybody, not some internet fucking some fucking internet activists that's saying, oh, I'm gonna boycott the loot boxes, man. Everybody not like that. It's some dude that went to Walmart and bought the game at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night because he was bored and he didn't know what to play and he didn't want to buy a 2K. Some dude did that. They don't go on YouTube and watch Let's Play videos. They don't watch Total Biscuit and Jim Sterling, and they're not a fucking hipster. And they said, oh, loot boxes, what is this? Well, I'm gonna buy a few of them. And they spent $10, $15 on loot boxes. A lot of people do that. You know, everybody not some hardcore gamer that care about everybody else's opinion and do a bunch of research on games. Some people just go to Walmart, see a new game on the shelf and say, wow, that looks cool, and they buy it. And those people are the people that's buying loot boxes. And even that one dude buying it at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night and getting loot boxes randomly because he bored, even that one dude probably makes it worth it. So buying a game and saying I'm not gonna buy loot boxes is not good enough. Don't buy the game. He talk about the responsible bullshit and the immature bullshit, and we have to blame human nature because human nature can't afford to spend money. But then he tells us to buy the game and not buy the loot boxes. If you was responsible and you really didn't like this practice, you wouldn't buy the game at all. Because not buying the game at all, guess what? you get to not play a game that doesn't you get to not play a game that has some garbage in it you don't like, and you get to keep your $60. That sounds a lot more responsible than spending $60 on the game and flat out hating something that's a part of the game you just spent $60 on. And he's trying to tell us that those people are more responsible and those people are smart. The people that spend $60 on the game knowing they hate something that's a part of the game, those people are smart. What? Is he getting paid by fucking WB to promote this game?
Instead of having the gray area kind of mentality, right?
But I think I'm
We have
done
to be
talking
black
for the
and white.
video now.
So
I talked
because
enough.
this game has loot boxes in it, ban it. Do not play it. Boycott it completely.
No,
Fuck the
pirate
game
it.
developers. Fuck WB Games. Fuck anyone who worked hard on this fucking outstanding game, which is one of the best games of 2017, hands down. Fuck that game and ignore it completely.
Yeah.
That is the mentality of a 5-year-old.
It's the mentality of a 5-year-old.
It's the mentality of an immature idiot.
Immature
who doesn't
idiot.
realize-
So he correlates being young to being an immature idiot. So all 5-year-olds are immature idiots in Dark Southfield's world. That's good.
You can still understand that there's a great game there that you can enjoy. Just don't support the loot box system.
No,
And the
don't
way that
buy
they've
it.
Created that situation is for immature audiences to get hype and to get negative drama stirred up, so you can get more views and more money.
Okay.
That's why this whole situation has been like that, because a small group of
We showed this in the beginning of the video. The reason why he complaining is because he think he getting less views because people don't like the loot boxes. That's the only reason why he complaining. I gotta tell this to you, dude. And this isn't the first time he's done this. He did this in 2014. He did it in 2015. He might have did it in 2016 with one of the shitty games he played. But I had a lot going on this time of the year in 2016. So I don't know if he did or not. But he always defends these hardcore gaming season games. As a matter of fact, when did Evil Within come out? Oh no, shit, not Evil Within. Murder Soul Suspect. That came out in June. Wow. So it wasn't always a hardcore gaming season thing. But Murder Soul Suspect was a big deal. Like, people thought that game was going to be huge. And it kind of just exists.
very powerful YouTubers.
Only reason why I own it
giant
is because it was a
audiences
part
that
of a
everyone
bundle.
seemed to trust,
I never really
instead
played
of
it.
being mature about the situation.
0.5 hours on
literally
record.
did the opposite and said, well, don't play any
59
games
on
with
Metacritic.
boycott
That game
this
got
outstanding
raped.
game,
Jesus.
And let's make a big hoopla on social media about it so we can get more views. And that's exactly what's happened. And it's pathetic. It's pathetic that the mainstream gamers are so sheepish and followish that they just believe everything they're told, and they're going to ignore one of the best games of the year just because it has a loot box system in it that you can ignore. And that's the other thing I have to emphasize here. You don't ever have to buy a loot box in the game, ever. Yes, there may be an end game grind of 5 hours. Oh no.
You trying to tell me that grinding for 5 hours is not a lot? That's kind of a lot.
Grind of 5 hours. Should that be in the game? No, of course not. There shouldn't be any grindy parts in modern video games, yet they still exist. But you could ignore it and still beat the game fine. You don't need the loot boxes. It's just a shortcut for those who have money to burn and want to blow through it. Alright? Do I support the practice? No. But should people boycott a game that's outstanding, better than the original and one of the best games of the year, just because it has a bad practice in it? No, that's the mindset of a small fucking dumb child. An ignorant idiot. A mouth-drooling moron.
Okay, so he correlates being a small child to being dumb, to being an ignorant idiot, and to being a mouth-drooling moron. You can just say people are dumb. You go from being a child to being dumb to being a mouth-drooling idiot. You like hooked up to an IV. You can't talk, you can't walk, you can't move. You literally are brain dead. Literally. What the fuck is wrong with DSP? What is this? What is wrong with him? Like, it blows my mind to see somebody get this upset at people being upset about something. That's really all it is. It's him complaining about people complaining, and I'm complaining about him complaining about people complaining. It's a fucking chainlet of complaints.
That's who does that kind of stuff. Okay. So there you have it. There's your answer. And that's the honest answer. Alright. Shout out to the frog in my throat, who did a 10-bit cheer. He says, I thought you said you weren't running a business. Well, technically I'm not. Technically, I'm not. I am not a legally registered business or anything.
All right.
When I say business, I mean the way I make my money. But technically, I'm.
Yeah, when you say business, you say the way you make your money. So the line worker, I think that's a term, or line shift worker. I don't know. The person that fucking flip burgers at McDonald's, they have a business, right? Because that's the way they make their money. He full of shit. He used to say he had a business. He said out of nowhere he didn't have a business. At the same time, he said he had some kind of emergency. So obviously the shit correlates and the shit is related, but he don't want to tell us that because he a dishonest fuck. But whatever. When I say business, I mean the way I make my money. Okay. The people that work at Walmart and ring you up for when you buy a bag of Doritos, they run a business then, because that's the way they make their money, right? Sure, DSP. Whatever you say, buddy. Whatever you say. But we're gonna finish this screen cap because it's so fucking pussy. But my caption for this, I said 2 days after he talked about Rick and Morty fans having first world problems, he can hold his L. Because he talked in a pre-stream when a Rick and Morty McDonald's sauce bullshit happened. He was like, oh, you have a world where... And this was super meme, by the way. Super meme too. He was like, oh, you have a world where people can't go outside without worrying about bullets flying over their head, and kids are starving, and you worried about some fucking sauce at McDonald's. Talk about first world problems. Talk about first world problems in a world where bad stuff is happening. Bad stuff happen everywhere, every day. But I'm not going to go into that. He's saying that those people have first world problems as he starts his pre-streams telling us about how we need to pay his bills and how we need to sub and send bits and tip him so he can pay his bills and so he can buy the newest games. As he posts tweets saying he can't sleep because his views are low, he calls other people out for having first world problems. Woo boy. But I'm done here. Sorry for complaining and getting I don't even really think I was getting salty. This is something you can have a discussion about. That's why I talk so much. If he wasn't doing this bullshit and complaining about this specific shit, I wouldn't even did a video. I would have probably had another couple of weeks before he said something dumb. Because it would have been, or before it would have been like, oh well, I ain't do a DSP video in like 4 years, so let me do one. But I feel like this is something to talk about. And it go along with his meme of let me defend game because game make money and I need game to look good to make money. The same thing he talk about Street Fighter players for and fighting game players for. Oh, they defend a game because they want you to watch so they can make money. But he defending Shadow War so people will watch and play it so he can make money. Fair enough. But anyway, I'm already 5,000 G. See you in the next video. I'm going to try to start uploading again like I used to. I'm going to probably actually have gaming videos get posted on this channel again in the next few days. Like I used to do. Because it's been a long ass time. And I've been getting fucking review codes sent to me. And I don't want to be a jackass and get review codes from people and not even do a video playing the game. So I'm going to be doing that stuff soon. But see you in the next video, whenever that video is, and whenever you show up again. And yeah, hopefully the audio for this is good because I really don't want to edit it. And yeah, I guess I'm out. Time to do fun stuff again. I guess it's fucking 9 o'clock my time. Wonderful.